deserves our nation's gratitude. Certainly our state's gratitude for the defense of this place these last several months.
And the trader you're talking about, is that Benedict Down?
The trader, sir.
Indeed, Monsieur, a man who truly betrayed the cause, and when I was with General Washington and we heard of this horrible news, if I may, Mon General, His Excellency responded with, who can we trust now? For it is a great loss to this cause to lose General Arnold, and for him to immediately be put under the command of our enemy and to raise troops to fight against soldiers that fought under his command. What a betrayal. Judas comes to mind.
He's fortunate that he's no longer here, sir. There were 3,000 men under Cornwallis's command who were sent away to rejoin Clinton in New York. And fortunately for the traitor, he were amongst that number. Because as I mentioned, I do not doubt that we are on the verge of a victory in war. And if the traitor was still amongst their number, we would finally see justice meted out. I was asked if I thought he suffers pangs of conscience due to the decisions that he's made. I assure you, I don't believe he does. Because the blood that flows in his veins is just as black as any demon's, and he's unable to feel such sensitive emotion. You're all very quiet.
Madame, what a superb question. How long shall we be here? I suppose that is entirely up to General Washington, for he is our commander. And when he deems it the appropriate time to move, then we shall move.
Have no fear, ma'am. It's not our intention to remain long. I understand that it's difficult to proceed. We are only concentrating our forces. I think I mentioned my command is on the end of a march of several hundred miles. Well, in any march of that distance, it becomes separated and scattered. In our circumstances, even worse, because we had unreliable transportation from Head of Elk to this place, insufficient vessels of an insufficient quality. So presently I'm just waiting for the last of our troops to arrive here. Once they're all here, then we'll march the last 12 miles from New York. That's the real purpose we're here. We won't remain long in the city. New York's another matter, but then New York has been occupied for some time already, and who knows how long the siege will last. We have all the advantages. I do not doubt that we'll prove victorious. But anything that we might do that might end that siege earlier, and all we have to do is starve out the enemy, and we'll be victorious. We have the advantage that we can manage that. But the longer that takes, the longer we rely just on starving, the more blood will be spilled on both sides. So if the advantage arises that we might capture their works and cause them to capitulate earlier, we'll certainly take advantage of it.
So use your teeth as a vice and tear with your hands. Take the gunpowder, pour it into the pan, just a little bit. Don't overfill it. Shut the pan, go to the about, pour the remaining gunpowder down the barrel, and notice where that lead ball would have been on top of that gunpowder. Push that cartridge down, take out your ramrod, ram down the cartridge, and notice how my hand can touch the bayonet without cutting it. It's dulled on either side to basically load with the bayonet on and to fire with the bayonet on. Remember, when we attach a bayonet to the musket, we're transforming it into a fighting spear. Thrusting, piercing, not a fighting sword. It's not going to hack or slash at all. We're going to poke holes into people. Take the ramrod out, return it back into the musket, and into the shoulder we go. Now, as a common courtesy, I'm going to give off a rattle so people by the courthouse know about the fire. So let's begin. All right, they've been warned. Let's get into the fire. Make ready! Grab the stock, go up, full cock the weapon, remove hammer stall. Take aim! Fire! that's how you fire the brown bess. Any questions?
Today we're going to make some ship biscuits, which are hardtack, as they are known in the Civil War. And then also, we're going to make some gingerbread.
Oh.
That's what I'm working on right now. Now, the ship biscuits have to bake twice. So I'll bake those first at a probably a high bread heat, about 450 degrees. And then this gingerbread will go into a slack oven. The 18th century cookbooks do not give you direct temperatures because I have no way of gauging a direct temperature. A slack oven means a slower oven or a cooler oven. And these bake very quickly, gingerbread does. You don't want them to get really crispy. We're not looking for ginger snaps, we're looking for gingerbread. You want them to be soft. But after the gingerbread is finished, we will then rebake the ship biscuits because they are supposed to get extremely dry, extremely hard. We know that they are done properly when they bounce off the table.
Oh.
Because they're meant to be preserved. You know, you crush them up, you break them up, you soak them in a liquid before you eat them.
Okay.
It's something for soldiers and sailors and such.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What it takes to move something in a different direction, or bend something, flatten and spread it. So you can see how he's working on the end of the, or the end of the bar, and on the far edge of the anvil to make that first taper. And then he brings the rod closer to him and works on the near corner, and that sets the length of the nail. And then he uses the chisel to cut it. Just 2 times is all you need to make it weak enough to break it off into the nail header to then create the head of the nail. You can see there wasn't a whole lot of color left within that nail. You have just enough time. Right. And then drops to the floor. Make another one. If you're doing nail making as a production job, you're going to be wanting to make as many nails as you can in a day. Our shop can make 800 nails in a day per smith. That might be a few hundred lower if they're first starting to make nails, and some of those nails might not be so good. If you're a nail maker by trade, if all you've done your life is make nails, you're making 2,300 nails in a day. So if you maximize your efficiency, you're specialized and only making one shape all day long, you'll be much faster than...
And you just use like scrap metal or something like that? Just
You can use
special
mold.
metal?
Yeah, we use iron.
Yeah.
Iron bars. Occasionally, you might have to recycle.
Like if I got all 3 bars, would they work?
Yeah, older bars that you had saved, you cast aside, and you dug them up again from a pile of metal. You can look at this. These are all old nail rods that have been welded together. You can see how much effort can go into making a new bar from many. But you might have to if you don't have access to buying new metals, if you don't have enough money. So if you have all this metal that you made other tools with and you kept all the little scraps, you could weld them all together to make something. And that's a way that shops like this in the 1700s also would save on costs.